Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a classic from Led Zeppelin today. We're learning how to do Hey Hey, What Can I Do? So this one, now I'm listening to the remastered version of this. I think there is a little bit of controversy online what tuning they actually recorded this in. On the remastered version, which I'm listening to both on Spotify and YouTube, it's the closest way to get to it is it's E flat standard tuned down a little bit, just a little bit flat from that. So I had to put my guitar in that tuning to really kind of get it worked out. Then I have retuned it back up to just E flat, normal E flat standard for this lesson. So tuned everything down a half step. That's going to be the closest kind of normal tuning that you're going to be able to do to get to the remaster version. Like I said, I've seen them perform it live in standard too. So as soon as you get it, the chords down, you can play whatever key you want. But what they recorded it originally is just a little, people go back and forth with it. So it could have been tuned to standard and then they just slowed it down the tape or whatever. But I'm going to teach this the closest to the version that I hear as you can get. Like I said, it's E flat standard, slightly flat of that. So that's what's going to get you if you want to play right with the recording. Anyway, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell so you notice a new video. You can like and comment on the videos. It really helps everything on the YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, when people actually watch your videos and comment on them, it really helps. And if you really like what I do here, please check out my Guitar Academy. You're going to see a link to it in the description below. That's my online guitar school. That school, that actually link will give you a free 7-day trial. And it contains all of my guitar courses. Just one subscription, you get access to all my courses, personalized support from me, and I go live every weekend, just like a live stream for just Academy members, so you can get your questions answered in real time every single weekend. So I hope to see you there. Let's jump into the track. Like I said, I am tuned to E flat here, and then we have this little intro. So we're gonna start here with 3-4 on the A string, and then 2-4 on the D, and then just play an A major just as a bar chord, open A string, second fret there on the D and the G, and then you also will hear this second fret there, the C sharp played. Obviously it's a C natural now, but don't worry about that. So an A major chord. So that strum is, so down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Let me just repeat. And so after you play it 4 times, the 4th time through, kind of stops halfway during the strum and grows, which is just like it's really like a G power chord. It doesn't have that note in it that makes it a major chord, so it gives it that little bit more spunkiness to it, I guess, if you remove that. So we have still the 3rd fret there on the low E string. You're gonna mute that A string with the bottom of your middle finger there. Then the open D, open G, and then the 3rd fret there on the B and the high E. Can I hit that a couple hours? Into a D major chord, just a regular D major. So we have this for the intro. Alright, then we get to the verse, which moves around a little bit more. It looks like this. So it's going to start with just a that A again, that A major chord. Then into it's like a standard E major. Kind of hit each one once. So that's the A to the E. Then to that same G major without the, well, it's really, we'll call it G, but it's really G power chord. So it's the same chord we did in the intro. And then to a D major chord. So when we get to this D major, you're gonna hear this on both the chorus and the verse. It's got that little da 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 da. So I'm just going up down, up down, up down. But on the upstroke, I have the high E string ring open, and then when I come down with the downstroke, I put the middle finger to the second fret on the back down to make the regular D. So we have this. And then there's this little thing that ends the first half, I guess, of the progression for the verse, which is just 4-2-0 on the A string. And then from there we just start the chords over again. So it looks like this. And then do the same 4 chords again. That's the same little move on the D, but then there's a more extended riff that ended the second time through. So that's going to be that 3-4. It's kind of like the riff in the intro, except there's one added note to it. So we're going to have 3-4 on the A. It's actually 2 added notes. So 3-4 on the A and 2-4 on the D, like we did before. Then back to that 2 on the D, and then over to the 3rd fret again on the A string. And when you play that note, you can slightly pull it down a little bit. So that's the end, really the end of the verse riff itself. The verse riff itself is that chord progression done twice, and it's got a different ending each time. So we have this first ending. Which is that 4-2-0. And then the second ending. And then we go back to the first inning. Now the 4th time through, he doesn't do the chords down here. He moves up. He plays mostly the same chords, except for the 3rd chord is different, but he plays them in a different voicing at the neck. So we're going to still play an A major. Still play an A major, but we're going to play it up here. So the 7th fret there on the D string, 6th fret there on the G, and then the 5th fret on the B and the high E. Then he goes and plays still an E major chord, but a different voicing of it. So we're gonna have the 6th fret there on the D, 4th on the G, 5th on the B, and you can get that note on the high E too as well, just so you'll bar across the 4th fret there, those top 3 strings. So this. Then here, this chord is different. Instead of doing a different version of voicing of G major, it's actually an F sharp minor chord. So that's just that 4th fret there on the D string, and then the 2nd fret bar across from the high E to the G. So just, and then you can end it just with a standard D major chord. When you hear the D, you might hear the open A string in the bass a lot. That happens all the time. Whenever you're hitting that chord big, a lot of people add that A string in there. So it's still a regular D. It's still a D major. So the whole verse there looks like this. All right, and then we get to the chorus, which uses pretty similar to chorus, a little bit different timing. It looks like this. So that's just that A major hit a couple times. And then when you go to the G, you just hit it once. And then what you're gonna do is just quickly go to that D major, because you wanna get, that melody is a big part of that change. So as soon as you get to the D, so that's the whole phrasing of that chord sequence. And then when you get there, you start doing the same kind of, it's still kind of thing that we did in the verse. And then it has that same 4-2-0 ending every time in the progression. So that happens every time to so that's repeated 4 times for the chorus, or the first chorus at least. And you just hear that 4-2-0 that ends it each time. So it looks like this. Then we're back to the same verse. So the key to that is quick change, just a quick hit on that G, and then jump to that D. I gotta hit it with an upstroke too. All right, and so those are the three. Really, that just goes back and forth between the verse and the chorus for the rest of the song. Except the last chorus is extended, so they just keep going with it. And he does throw a quick little variation in there, so I thought I'd show you that. But it's pretty much just kind of jamming out. There's a lot of mandolins and all that stuff added to it, but I'm not going to obviously do that. But we're going to do that little chorus variation that you're going to hear in the last chorus, towards the beginning of the last chorus. When it goes in that riff, he does this. So it's that same thing, but same chord. When we get here, it's gonna jump up here. So I'm playing the 7th fret there, and the D and the G. I'm sorry, the B and the G. And I'm hitting at least the open D with it. Maybe you can also hit the open A as well. But really, the open D is the main one. So you play it down, up, down, and then just to move it, you're still gonna keep that open D, but now the double stop will be at the 5th fret on the G and the B. Now rotate back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, down, up, down, down, up, down. And then he stops doing that. They just kind of vamp on this and add a lot of layers and stuff of other instruments, which obviously we can't cover. But it's pretty fun. It's a fun song to play. It's just like Zeppelin, you know. You just got so many classic songs you can't even. I'm still getting through them all. Like many years of YouTube in. There's just so much unique stuff that they got that's just great. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a pretty simple one. I'll see you again soon for guitarlessons365.com.